I'm more and more convinced with every day going by that this new right that has clearly emerged as the winner of the culture wars, which I'm a part of, is putting a lot of its stock in the TERF movement simply because it opposes, the trans movement or something like that. Not convinced that it's the best way forward, and I like to discuss it. The reason I say this and how I define the TERF movement, I think includes J.K. Rowling, who was clearly the biggest name, but a few others, Kelly J, someone, and the Australian lady Tickle versus Giggle case, Sally Grover. They're using the definition adult human female as what a woman is. This is a terrible definition, absolutely terrible definition. It contemplates the idea that a 17.9-year-old female in a coma with tubes up her nose and things on her brain and stuff, machine keeping her alive, who turns 18, whether she ever wakes up from the coma or not, turns 18 while she's under, is as much a woman as anyone is, without a choice or a discernment or a judgment or a sacrifice or a virtue or a goal. She simply is one, which I thought was the old-fashioned sexist thing that women didn't want. They didn't want to just be a biological entity, a set of plumbing with some fucking arms and legs thrown around it or something like that and some hair on their head.
1, 2, 3. She's an adult human female. An adult human female.
I thought it wanted to be this thing that thought and chose and had sort of goals. Now, I understand you could say that, well, that's just being human, but then that's to say there is no gender, that whatever it is that a man does, we'll get more into it in this episode, believe me, but reads and writes and runs around and stuff, is that, well, women do that as well. But that's patently different because we've all accepted that there are biological differences and we seem to have won that war now, eventually. So clearly my libido is different from a female's, and I'm not hypergamous. They're not as promiscuous as I am, naturally, as we might say, and certainly rolls around like I can run away from the pregnancy and you can't, and many differences. So we might as well have a category male and female or man and woman. But why is one that attains virtue through action and choice and, like I say, judgment and discernment, and one that just bloody gets it on its birthday? Why would you try to be one thing or not if you were just going to get the category woman and good woman at that? Anyway, so there's a book, Jack Donovan's Way of Men. It was big in the manosphere a while ago. Maybe it still is, I don't know. It discussed the virtues of men, that you're not just a man on your 18th birthday, that you need to try and attain. I think it's honor, strength, mastery, and is it loyalty? His 4 chief virtues. There's another book, you might have heard of it, Plato's Republic. Somewhere in there it discusses the idea that there are ideals in heaven or wherever they are, and that only really geometry, music, and maths can attain the particulars of those. Geometry, music, maths can never attain the ideals down here on earth. The rest of us, I am a particular of a man. The ideal of a man exists wherever it exists, and I'm trying to attain it every day. So Plato agrees. You might have heard of Aristotle. His Nicomachean Ethics, he discussed that these virtues, let's say honor, are not a singular thing. They're on a spectrum, and you've got to try and shoot down the golden mean and try and attain your virtues. But it's much the same thing. Christians would say we should act in accordance with the will of God. And these things, God, Aristotle, or at least virtues, golden means, they exist outside of me. I'm not trapped in a room with myself, trying always to look in here to work out what in here should be by having in here tell in here. It's a circular argument. You'll go crazy doing it. Worst part is you'll confuse God or your virtues with just lust, just impulse. And that can't be the way forward. So the term adult human female doesn't allow for good women and bad women by adhering to some sort of virtue of what women are. There was an old-fashioned expression, I don't know if it still gets used, women are, men become. And I thought we were trying to get rid of that. How about women become? How about you're not a woman until you attain a certain sort of thing? Say what you like about the trans women. They're at least trying to attain something. That's why they put the wig on and they lose the weight and they totter around in heels and they speak in a high voice. Whether you like it or not, they may well be mimicking, but they're trying to attain something. The adult human females aren't. You know who is trying to attain something? It's the tradwives. The tradwives are churning butter and making patchwork quilts and cooking steak dinners and more for their husbands, and they are extolling these virtues, whether it's Ben Shapiro's sister or the ballerina farm lady. They are trying to teach women how to be feminine as though it's something to achieve. Now, that I agree with, whether or not you agree that churning butter and patchwork quilts, or whatever the tradwives really do, I don't mean to make fun, are what women are. Perhaps the TERF crowd wants to, I don't know, at least get a ticket to the dance on this and see if it can't dance better. But right now, adult human female, it's nothing. It's just biology. It's cowardice. So let's use an example. Let's get unpopular. Let's take motherhood. Let's say there's two women, both understand that a career in kids is possible. The first woman, however, says, I'm attractive at 18, I'm fertile at 18. I'm not fertile in my late 30s, maybe not that attractive in my late 30s either, sorry. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you know what I mean. So at 18, she attracts not an 18-year-old man. What would you want with an 18-year-old man? They're not very good. Yeah, she attracts a 25-year-old. Now that's controversial. He's older, but she does. Now he's got a deposit for a house coming along and his career is well underway. He's out of uni, he's earning money. Good move. She's 18-year-old, attractive, virginal, if not exactly. Anyway, he thinks, I'm never going to do better than this, so he sticks a ring on it, beds it down, gets married. And at 19, 20, she's married. At 20, 21, she's pregnant. She has a kid at 21, another at 23, another at 25, if you want, 3. So when she's 35, the youngest will be 10, so I'll be able to get herself off to school with the help of its older siblings. She can start her career. And when the oldest, what does she have that at 20? When she's 38, the oldest is 18, and she's able to be young at the 18th birthday party, and she'll be a young grandmother. Clearly, that is an example of a good mother. She can then go and have a career in her 40s and 50s and 60s. There's still 30 years of work to be done if that's what she wants to do. But that is a better, and a bad cromulent word, gooder mother than someone who waits until their late 30s and just has to get jizz out of a fucking turkey baster and hope she hits home. The kid will never know its father and probably won't have any siblings because there's not enough time. And I understand, however, if we ever got 100 women into a room and to discuss this, it would be unpopular. And how many abortions is too many, and how many bodies is too many, and how short a skirt is too short, and the rest of it. And it's tough, right? Let's do men. Much easier. A man should be strong, bench his body weight, people say, be able to run for 20 minutes without vomiting, basically, financially secure. You should be able to save your money and have all your bills paid and be able to provide. What else? Certainly fatherhood. You should be able to hang around and raise the kids. That means you got to stick your dick in a girl that you can actually fucking stick around and marry and tolerate. So you've got to be able to choose a good woman. You should be educated. You should know the politics of the world. You should be able to keep everyone safe from whatever current economic and social trends are coming. And more. We've got no problem discussing male virtues. Happy to do it with you all day. I'm in a group and we do it all the time. I'm in a men's group. I'm a life member, and guys will say, geez, you're fat. You drink too much. You haven't got enough kids. You've got too many kids. You're not having sex with your wife enough. Your wife's probably cheating on you. You don't dress well. Wear clothes that fit. Fuck, you boring. Read more. Stop watching TV. Stop playing video games. We'll do each other all day long. And whoever gets told this most of the time says, thank you for the advice. I'm glad to try and be a better man, and I accept that this advice is getting me there. I just don't know if we're ever going to do it with the other half of the population, though. So, opportunity, right? The culture wars are coming to a close. Millennial women have utterly burned themselves out as being what you're all aware of. Boomer women are now too old, but also they swung. And when they were young, got liberalism underway. But anyway, what about Gen X women? They've been relatively quiet. They're in their, late 40s, early 50s now. They've been married, divorced, kids, the rest of it. Don't they know it all? Is it not time now for Gen X women to try and lead? But the definition, adult human female, it's nothing. It's cowardice. It's terrible. It doesn't tell us anything about you. It just contemplates that you are a meat puppet with 2 X chromosomes. What about your choices? What about your virtues? What about what you want to be? What about what's good for society? What about what's good for your children, good for your husband, good for your parents, good for your community? Those are virtues. Attempt it. I can't do it. And that's the problem, though. I worry that if you, with our support, don't do it now, someone else will do it for you. Stalin or Hitler or someone will be along again soon. They'll choose for you. The Pope, some imam, major religion. When they start making your choices for you, you might not get what you want. Choose yourselves. Make your own choices and discuss motherhood and discuss how many partners is too many and how many abortions is too many. Maybe 1, maybe more. Discuss divorce. No-fault divorce seems terrible. Discuss the role of don't sleep with someone unless you're prepared to have them as a father for your children. I guess these topics and more will come up. good luck. Love to be a fly on the wall. But in all seriousness, I mean, I can joke all day, but what happens when womanhood is just a birth date and has nothing to do with virtue and nothing to do with ethics? Or worse still, when you think that you can look in here in a type of internalism and think that the answer to what it is in here and what you're mistaking for is ethics or virtue ethics becomes just lust, just impulse. That's animal behavior. That's savage. That doesn't even meet Aristotle's definition of the vegetal, animal, human using reason. You're still stuck down at the animal thing. We're stuck down at the animal thing a lot. We're trying always to get up. It's hard. It got easier in Australia recently. Pornhub's just been made illegal. But anyway, that's my video for the day. As always, hit like and subscribe if you want, and if not, that's fine as well. I make these videos mostly for myself, but you could comment or you could like. I'll have a new video out shortly, and thank you for listening. Bye.